Hello indie game fans, I just talked about the best indie games of March a couple of videos ago and gave the developers a well-deserved round of applause, saying that March was one of the best months in recent memory, but if you love indie games, do I have a treat for you? May looks like another month packed with all the greats, so here are the top 10 upcoming games for next month. Let's begin with Dolmen, a sci-fi Souls-like RPG that looks very different from the usual grimdark entries in that it is actually quite bright and colourful, but of course does hide its share of horrors and monstrosities as well. You are exploring an alien planet named Referral Prime in order to collect shards of something known as the Dolmen, which has the ability to alter realities and dimensions, fighting for your timeline not to be erased, but the sci-fi theme makes this of particular interest.
Wake up, sleeper.
A fantastic-looking narrative RPG is Citizen Sleeper, a title that taps upon cyberpunk fiction combined with a gorgeous art style which makes this of interest. You play as a recently escaped worker, finding your way to a lawless space station on the edge of society, having to find a way to survive. There are a host of other characters to get to know and befriend, with the entire station to explore and choices to make, all in an attempt to escape your past and to forge your future. It is inspired by narrative tabletop RPGs, where another aspect that stands out is that this comes to us from developer Jump Over the Edge, who made the excellent In Other Waters, making this a title of interest. We have a couple of not-so-indie titles of interest as well, one of which is Eiyuden Chronicle Rising, the side-scrolling action RPG that is the prequel to the Suikoden-like Eiyuden Chronicles 100 Heroes, which is still in development. This game introduces some of the 100 plus heroes of the main game, but is a side-scrolling action platformer where there does appear to be 3 main characters that you can fluidly switch between even while in combat, including a kangaroo wielding a gigantic sword, giving you a taste of what to expect. There's quite a classic story setup of a simple treasure hunting adventure that quickly spirals into a dark conspiracy, planting the seeds for the plot of the main game, so if you're looking forward to that and cannot wait, do pick this up first.
Two towers bathed in red. A king broken. Secrets unspoken. A way home for those long dead. Escape or face defeat. Let's see which fate our guests shall meet.
A co-op-focused indie game series that has quietly been gaining a lot of momentum are the We Were Here games from developer Total Mayhem Games, with the free original in 2017, We Were Here 2 in 2018, We Were Here Together in 2019, and now We Were Here Forever in 2022. These are awesome first-person co-op puzzle games that have you and a friend working together, this time trapping you in the creepy realm of Castle Rock, where based on the quality of the other games, will be fun with a friend.
Simply not that clever. Bring me what I seek, or suffer forever.
Call the militia! Help! Vampires!
Another not-so-indie title is V Rising, one that I've covered in my videos showcasing upcoming games like Diablo, which is actually a little bit of a misnomer, so do listen up.
Vampire at the gates!
Spirits, hear me!
While on the surface, it does very much look like a Diablo-style action RPG, this does add a survival element, since of course you cannot survive in sunlight, and most interestingly has a base building aspect as you restore your castle.
This is luminance!
Vampire fiction has always fascinated me, where this looks to be a fresh new take on that in a genre that I love, so of course it has my attention.
You're done.
I told you that you'll be seeing a lot more of my time at Sandrock on the channel, so as promised, here it is in preview form once again. It is the sequel to the live sim title My Time at Portia, which I adore, but switches the setting to a desert mining town. You play as a fledgling builder, having to save the town from economic ruin, where it does look to share many of the same elements and gameplay systems, but has a whole new world to explore.
それの主とは我のことよ、じじい。己が身につけし技を見せてみよ、ひろき。
I'm also very happy to share that the black and white action title, Track to Yomi, is releasing next month, one that is being published by Devolver Digital, so I'm expecting great things from this. It has you playing as a young swordsman, vowing to his dying sensei that he will protect the town and the people within from all threats, having to make good on that promise when something catastrophic occurs. Of course, it is very stylized and uses a look similar to Japanese filmmaker Akira Kurosawa, which has been on the lips of gamers due to titles like Ghost of Tsushima, but where this is more of a side-scrolling action title. There are some interesting aspects like a hand cannon and even supernatural elements, making this quite the curiosity.
Inquisitors come to the Vale to seek purpose in their punishment.
In news that will both delight and antagonize people, Salt and Sacrifice will finally be releasing next month on PS5, PS4, and perhaps unfortunately, the Epic Games Store on PC, which I know many of you are still not on board with. However, this is the sequel to the excellent 2D Souls-like Salt and Sanctuary from 2016, so I'm excited to see what new tricks the developer has learned in 6 years.
But if we turn against one another, the mages will triumph. Join the Dawnlight Order. Help your fellow marked Inquisitors.
Whichever paths you choose, to whichever factions you swear fealty, remember why you are here. All mages must die.
I realize that I've been banging on and on about Heroes of Might and Magic likes recently, but if you do not know what that is, I'll let the developers of Songs of Conquest explain it, and perhaps you can see why I'm so excited for this.
Hi, I'm Carl Toftvold, the game designer of Songs of Conquest. Songs of Conquest is a love letter to the classic turn-based strategy games of the 90s, and in our game you'll control powerful magicians called wielders. Adventure awaits as you send your wielders to explore maps filled with enemies, magic sites, treasures, and powerful artifacts. But finding treasure and exploring is only the start of it. You need to invest your riches in both expanding your town and raising a grand army, because sooner or later you'll face the enemy in combat. Each turn your troops generate essence, a magic resource that fuels and unlocks your spells, anything from simple buffs to cataclysmic damage dealers. In combat, there are many things to consider. Your troops can move, attack, and use abilities, like placing stakes in front of them. Moving to the high ground gives many benefits, but moving away from an enemy lets them attack you, so carefully consider your choices. And speaking of choices, you'll have 4 different factions to play as in Songs of Conquest. Arleon is the remnants of an empire, now broken up into many warring baronies. Knights are joined in an uneasy accord with the Fae, magical creatures of the woods. Rana, the swamp dwellers, scattered by their enemies. But a mysterious wielder has risen, uniting the folk of the marsh to rediscover their true strength. In the declining barony of Loth, cultists excavate ancient ruins for arcane artifacts. Loth will stop at nothing to bring back its former glory, even if it means bringing back the dead. The wealthy merchant states of Baria employ artificers to keep them one step ahead of their enemies. The volleys of muskets and the roar of the Hellbreath bring terror to all who oppose them. Songs of Conquest can be played both in single-player and multiplayer mode. The game has 2 campaigns and several skirmish maps. And it will also include the same level editor we have used to create all maps and campaigns in the game. We are very excited to show you the game soon and hope you'll join us for the adventure.
As a fan of all things Metroidvania, of course I have to give a very special mention to Soldiers, a high-bit pixel art entry that did come up with this gorgeous animated launch trailer, but we will get to see some gameplay in a bit. There are 3 playable characters in the melee-focused Scout, the ranged Archer, and the magic-wielding Caster, each of which looks to play quite differently. There is an interesting central mystery where while out in battle, you are suddenly teleported to a mysterious new land on the fringes of the afterlife, having to fight and find a way to the next world. I've had my eye on this game for quite a long time, having followed its Twitter account way back when, where it did really pick up momentum when it released the trailer and demo for the Steam Next Festival, where the reception there was universally positive, making this one to get, taking the #1 spot. For more Metroidvania games, watch these videos and I will see you after the jump.